Hello, welcome back to Read with Miss Olson. I'm here with the pigeon. Today, we are going to be reading one of my favorite books, and this book is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. Now, we've probably all read the story of the Three Little Pigs, where the wolf goes to everyone's house, and he huffs and he puffs and he blows their house down. Well, this story is just like that, except for today it's going to be told by the wolf. While we read today, we're going to be talking about how this story is different from the story we all know. It's written by John Saiska. He's our author. He wrote all the words, and it's illustrated by Lane Smith. She's our illustrator. She drew all the pictures. Our word to watch today is secret. Can you whisper in my ear, what does secret mean? I heard you guys say that secret means something that you don't tell anyone, something that's private. You're right, that's a secret. Well, when you hear our word to watch, don't forget to put your thumbs up. Okay, let's get started today. The true story of the Three Little Pigs. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody's ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. So far in the story, I notice that the wolf doesn't think he's big and bad. And in the other Three Little Pigs story, all they say is that he's big and bad. I already see a difference. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. And I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. I want to stop here. Do you guys see a difference between this story and the other Three Little Pigs story that we know already? Whisper in my ear. I heard you guys say that in this story, the wolf is making a birthday cake for his granny. And in the real story, he doesn't make a birthday cake for his granny. We already see that difference. Great. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig. He wasn't too bright either. He had built his house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build his house out of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I don't want to just walk into someone else's house. So I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little bit better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next door neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but this sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. I want to stop right here. I want you to think, how is this story different from the other story of the three little pigs? Think about how the wolf is knocking down all these houses. How is that different from the real story? Tell me now. It's different because I heard you guys saying that it's different because in this story, the wolf is sneezing and the houses fall down. And in the other story, the wolf tries his best to blow the houses down. He wants them to fall down. Let's keep reading. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping, but I was getting awfully full. But my cold was feeling a little bit better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had the whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Achoo! Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, Of course I was trying to break down that pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. And the rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured I was a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar. Didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the whole story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? This story is just like our 3 little pigs story, but instead it is told by our wolf today. And the wolf says this is what really happens. This is the true story. I want you today to draw and write about one way this story is different from our regular 3 Little Pigs story. We talked about a few ways throughout the story. You can use one of those. But if you want to think of another one that we didn't talk about, great. I want you to come up with one way this story is different. This story is different, and I want you to draw and write about it. I can't wait to see your pictures and your words down below in the comments so I can respond to you. Bye. See you tomorrow.